Students in Crawford County, Kansas could soon have the option to take their masks off in class, but only if the county meets certain COVID-19 related health requirements. Details are coming up.
A second day of hearings with the nation's top military leaders led to some pretty tense discussions over how the war ended in Afghanistan. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington. More on that and why calls for General Milley's resignation are growing louder.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Albee. Classrooms in Crawford County, Kansas could become mask optional, but only if the county meets certain coronavirus-related health requirements. KOAM's Mike Mahoney spoke with the USD 250 superintendent, also the director of the Crawford County Health Department, to learn more.
Face masks in the classroom has been a contentious topic across the country, but the USD 250 school board has crafted a solution that hears the concerns of both sides.
We've been working with Crawford County Health Department and our health officer to come up with criteria so that it does provide that sound basis that if we do decide to go mask optional, that it will be based on something that is vetted by KDHE and local data.
Starting October 4th, Crawford County students have the option to go maskless if the following countywide requirements are met. Local hospitals must have space for COVID-19 patients. School absences caused by the coronavirus must be under 3%. Crawford County's case numbers must be stable or trending downward. And Crawford County must have 40 or fewer new COVID-19 cases per week.
If we have more than 40 active cases, new cases a week, then it's going to put more pressure on the community system, on the hospital systems, on the medical systems. So that's how we came up with 40 cases.
Pittsburgh High School freshman Blake Posnick says he thinks the new class mask option is a winner.
I think it's a really good option because some kids just hate the masks in general and they'd be happy to take it off. And so I think that it would be a good choice in general because and it also gives the option that the people that still want to wear their masks can still wear the mask.
The new class mask policy goes into effect next week, but will the county have met the school board's criteria to give students a mask option?
We won't make the official announcement until the end of the week, but the numbers are definitely trending that way.
In Crawford County, Kansas, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
Superintendent Profit also says he and other superintendents are going to meet with the health department at the end of each week to discuss local data and then let parents and students know if classes are mask optional for the following week. 6 people are injured after a crash on Missouri 171 near Asbury, according to the Missouri State Highway Patrol. A work truck was westbound on Baseline Boulevard when it failed to stop at Highway 171, then crashed into the side of an SUV that was southbound on the highway. Both vehicles went off the roadway into a nearby field. The work truck then caught fire. One person was taken by MedFlight to the hospital, as we're seeing right there. Met's Carl Junction Fire, Missouri State Highway Patrol, and the Jasper County Sheriff's Office all responded to the crash. There's no word yet on the condition of any of those injured. Meteorologist Doug Caddy joining us now with the first look at the forecast, and it is good to have you back, Doug.
Hey, thanks, Avi. And it actually turned out to be a pretty decent day for us today. We did have a lot of clouds across the region. That kept our temps down just a bit. 82 was our high, started at 69. A little bit above average for this time of the year, but it feels pretty good outside. We did have a lot of clouds and a few random little showers earlier this evening. Most of us have stayed dry. I expect most of us to stay dry tonight, but we are going to start to sneak in some rain chances as a little wave out across parts of Nebraska and Kansas heads toward us. So, of course, we're going to break this down for you here in just a bit.
Doug, thank you. Webb City is celebrating homecoming this week. Today, people gathered along Main Street for a parade. The night culminated with a bonfire at a field near the middle school and lots of food trucks. Just really fun for the whole family.
Because, back in older years, that's what they did before big games. They had a big bonfire, and that's where we kind of decided to bring this back. And, not everything from the past is bad.
Homecoming week has been underway for a few days now in Webb City, and local businesses like Maggie Jane's didn't hesitate to paint their locations and the town red in support of those cards.
We're all about the community. We want to make sure we support Webb City. We want to support the schools 100%. And by that we can decorate our window with painting the town red and make sure the schools and all the kids know that we support them and we can do everything we can.
Webb City is going to welcome in Branson for their homecoming game on Friday. I love this next story. The McDonald County R1 School District stopped offering strawberry milk at lunchtime. Some fourth graders weren't happy about it at all. So they let the district know by writing a petition to bring back strawberry milk. And it worked. Today the school got its milk delivery, which included strawberry. Fourth grade class also got a reward of strawberry milk and cookies for their efforts.
Like I didn't have the taste like I used to do. So then I started leaving lunch very thirsty. I only had water the first whole day, but when I get home I have something to drink. So then I decided maybe there's kids like me in the school.
Additionally, today is World School Milk Day, which celebrates the health benefits of school milk programs. Hey guys, I agree with you. Strawberry milk is awesome, number one, and number two, great job making your opinion known in a very adult way. Awesome job. Well, top military leaders appeared on Capitol Hill for a second day to detail what happened with the chaotic drawdown of troops in Afghanistan. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard is in D.C. now with more.
There was no easy option. I did not see it happen in 11 days in August.
The head of the Central Command, General Frank McKenzie, answering questions on Afghanistan for a second day before a congressional committee.
Either the president lied or you have not been fully accurate.
My concern was that if we withdrew below 2,500 and went to zero, that the Afghan military and government would collapse. And of course, that's not a potential counterfactual. That is, in fact, what happened.
Along with Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and Chair of the Joint Chiefs, General Mark Milley, they explained where there were failures.
Did we have the right strategy? Did we have too many strategies?
There was also some passing of responsibility, military leaders saying it wasn't one single administration that led to the chaos and loss of life in the final days of the war.
My assessment is this is a 20-year war, and it wasn't lost in the last 20 days or even 20 months for that matter.
General Milley was pressed again on why he made calls to his Chinese counterparts during the last administration.
The purpose was to de-escalate.
He maintains it was within his responsibilities.
I understand your intent, but I think you articulating that you would tell him, you would give him a call, I think is worthy of your resignation.
Although finding some support.
For any member of this committee, for any American, to question your loyalty to our nation is despicable.
The leaders warned it's possible over the next 12 to 36 months, Al-Qaeda could pose a threat again to the U.S., using Afghanistan as a base. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Time crunch on Capitol Hill as lawmakers negotiate two major pieces of legislation. Two Democratic senators still not supportive of a $3.5 trillion social spending package. There's also growing concern about how the country is going to be able to pay its outstanding debts and avoid a financial calamity. Fox's Madeline Rivera has a closer look from Washington.
Democrats are tackling divisions within their own party as they face multiple crises, including a government shutdown. Federal agencies will run out of money Thursday if lawmakers don't act.
Senate Democrats will be introducing a continuing resolution that keeps the government open until early December.
But the bill won't address the debt limit. Republicans say they won't help Democrats raise the debt ceiling, despite a warning from Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen that the U.S. will run out of cash to pay its bills on October 18. They want Democrats to tie a suspension of the debt limit to their $3.5 trillion social spending plan.
This is their choice. They're the ones that are spending extraordinary amounts of money. They should raise the debt ceiling and get it done.
However, the size of the reconciliation package could change because of concerns from moderate Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. The two, though, haven't shared what top-line number they'd be comfortable with.
No, we haven't talked about figures at all. We should be talking about the need of our country.
Progressives are warning against cutting too much, while some are hoping for more direction from the president as they try to move forward with his domestic agenda.
People are told, you're either, you got to be with the president. Well, what is it that the president wants? Nobody can even answer that question.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had plans to vote on the $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill Thursday, but progressives have threatened to oppose it until the $3.5 trillion spending package passes. Pelosi now saying Wednesday they're taking things one day at a time. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer tonight announced an agreement reached with Republicans on a stopgap funding bill to be voted on tomorrow. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor another four-state hero, Dennis Woodward, served in the U.S. Navy from 19 62 to 67. We are proud to thank Dennis Woodward, a native of Girard, Kansas. He's tonight's four-state hero. Doug Heddy's next with a complete look at the forecast. A bit later in sports, going to hear from the Moso Lions on this weekend's rivalry matchup with Pitt State.
Well, it turned out to be a pretty good Wednesday for us today. We had a lot of clouds, but not much underneath the clouds. Just a few random little scattered showers here and there, but overall, fairly nice day. Great time lapse. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. A very nice evening as temperatures have been dropping back through the 70s over the past couple hours. Temps are still a little bit above normal. We should be topping out mainly into the upper 70s, mid 80s yesterday, lower 80s for us today. Our temps are going to slowly drop off a bit over the next few days, but in general, it looks pretty good. Nevada 72, Lamar 73, 72. In Neosho, Veneta at 73, we have Chautauqua at 75, we have 74 in Chanute, so everybody low to mid 70s. Eventually, we'll dip back 66, 67 degrees a little bit later on tonight. 73 right now, southeasterly winds are light at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And you can see the clouds that really have been on top of us throughout the afternoon into the evening hours, but not much popping up underneath the clouds. So I think we'll stay generally dry tonight, but you can see some rain starting to increase out to the west. Here's Nebraska, all the way down into western Kansas, and this wave is slowly going to head toward us as we go through about the next 12 to 15 hours. I really think tonight's dry, but then our rain chances will start to increase just a bit. Here's what's going on. Upper level low just kind of keeps spitting little chunks of energy at us. So that's going to keep some rain chances around for about the next 3 to 4 days. And then we'll dry out just a little bit, but we could actually use a little bit of rain. All right, let's go through the overnight hours. Here's 6:30 in the morning. You can see a random shower trying to pop up on the Missouri side, but most of the morning dry, very similar to today. A lot of clouds, warm up near 80 by noon. Look at the rain, trying to work in by the afternoon. The heaviest by far is going to stay to our south across northeastern parts of Oklahoma. But we are going to get some of these scattered showers and thunderstorms in here, especially during the afternoon. Not everybody. Not 100% widespread. They're going to be hit and miss. We'll start at 67, 80 by noon. High temp right around 83 during the afternoon. Any showers that will be out there will dissipate as we go through the overnight hours tomorrow night. And then late tomorrow night, a few more will try to pop up. And then now we go through Friday afternoon and evening, we'll get another batch that starts to get going. So this could affect some high school football games Friday evening. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that as we go through the next couple days. But these scattered showers and thunderstorms, they even stick around on Saturday and then start to exit by the time Sunday rolls around. I don't think we're going to get a ton of rain from these. We could use a little bit. But I'd say on average over the next 2 days, most of us get a half an inch, maybe upwards to an inch of rain out of this next wave, which is going to rotate through. Temps stay warm, 83 tomorrow, 83 on Friday. A little cooler, but perfect over the weekend. Still showers on Saturday, exiting on Sunday. Monday and Tuesday look good. Rain chances back in the middle of next week, but you can see our fall-like temperatures to start October. Not too bad.
No, and I'm loving these calmer, milder days.
Yeah, looks great.
Yeah. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. Thanks so much, Doug. Coming up, the DEA issuing a unique public safety alert. This after noticing more counterfeit drugs. Last year, 93,000 people across the U.S. died from an accidental drug overdose. Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, issued a public safety alert this week, first in 6 years because of an increase in counterfeit pills. Fox News multimedia reporter Stephanie Bennett has this story.
So it was just a normal night. I went upstairs and knocked on her door and there was no response, and I just knew. I knew something was terribly wrong.
It was a mother's worst nightmare.
She was just in bed like any other day, on her belly with her laptop open. You know, of course I grabbed her and checked for a pulse.
Misty Terragino's 17-year-old daughter, Kaylee, had died from an accidental fentanyl overdose. It's still under investigation, but they know the pill was bought over Snapchat and delivered straight to their door.
She just wasn't that kind of child. She did not go to parties. She was an honor roll student. She was just like any other child.
The Pinal County Sheriff Mark Lamb says his team is struggling to keep up with the recent influx of illegal M30 fentanyl pills coming through the U.S.-Mexico border.
Honestly, we're seeing a disaster. 85% of the people that are in my jail right now are there because of alcohol or drugs. So yeah, it's a big impact in our communities.
Every year, seizures are escalating in his county, going from 0 pills in 2018 to 200,000 pills in 2020 to now over 1.1 million so far this year.
And we expect those numbers to go even higher before the end of the year. That is staggering and should be alarming to the American people because we are likely not catching even 10% of what is coming into this country.
Looking across the entire southwest border, fentanyl seizures have more than doubled just this year and are ending up across America.
It only takes one time. It only takes one pill. It's the perfect recipe for a disaster, and that's exactly what happens.
According to the DEA, about 6 million pills were seized in Arizona last year alone, and so far this year, we've already surpassed that number. In Florence, Arizona, Stephanie Bennett, Fox News.
Well, next, as if Santa Claus isn't already stressed.
Summer just ended last week, and already experts say you should be starting your holiday shopping. I'm Kevin Cork with more on what's causing the rush. That's just ahead.
Is COVID-19 canceling Christmas? I don't know about that, but Fox News correspondent Kevin Cork has more on how the pandemic is straining toy and merchandise stock and why experts say you shouldn't wait any longer to get started on that holiday shopping.
Black Friday is still far away, but consumer experts say the holiday shopping season is already here.
If you see it, buy it right now.
That's because the pandemic's crippling effect on supply chains is continuing to limit product availability.
There are some concerns that all the toys that we will have for the holiday season are maybe on the shelves right now.
And officials say you can already see the impacts.
We see hot holiday toys typically hitting store shelves in July, and right now they're actually hitting like right now and in October. So the issue is once those toys sell through, it may be hard for them to get back in stock in November and December.
But even if products are available online and not in stores, experts are warning of longer than average shipping delays.
If you are going to order something, there's going to be a lot longer lead times and shipping times than we've seen before. So patience is going to be key.
And while getting an early start could give you access to a greater selection of goods, it won't ensure you'll find lower prices as ongoing inflation and material shortages continue driving up costs.
We're seeing things like action figures and they're only going up, $2 or $3. But when it comes to things like heavy, big wooden doll houses or ride-ons, you could end up paying as much as 10% more for toys.
Supply chains aren't the only things hurting. Ongoing labor shortages are forcing retailers like Target to hire fewer seasonal workers ahead of this year's holiday season. I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
Sad circumstances brought this cub to Humane Society, but humans are making sure this cub knows he's got some great times ahead of him. More on this when we come back. Look at that guy. A bear cub that approached firefighters in Northern California during an August wildfire is now being treated at the San Diego Humane Society. The cub's paws had been burned and its mother could not be found. The 7-month-old is joining 3 orphaned bear cubs that were found in Northern California after their mother was found dead nearby. Hopes are to eventually release all the bears into the wild. So such a sad backstory, right? But an amazing recovery. And look at that cub. All right, enough of that. 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming away. Freeman health officials say COVID-19 is putting more children in the hospital. Also, some university students getting a chance for something very valuable, patience and relaxation. The Joplin and Crawford County health departments are reporting increases in COVID-19 deaths. In Joplin, 2 more people passed away with COVID-19, bringing the total number of deaths to 173. The patients were an 82-year-old woman, 78-year-old man. 6 more people in Crawford County have passed away with the virus since last week. That brings the total number of COVID deaths in that county to 113. CDC says nationwide, let's try it again. CDC says nationwide, an increasing number of children are being hospitalized for COVID-19. It's something Freeman Health System says they are seeing locally as well. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with the Freeman pediatrician about current hospitalizations among young people and about vaccine information for younger children.
In Joplin, COVID-19 cases are still a concern for hospitals.
19 active COVID patients, 2 of whom are on a ventilator. Now, obviously, it's still a matter of grave concern. We are certainly not through this yet, and I want to emphasize that. In fact, we have had 5 COVID deaths since Friday.
Nationally, we're seeing more kids with COVID needing hospitalization.
Since July, pediatric COVID cases are up 240%, and that's just another reason that we need to vaccinate.
That's according to the American Academy of Pediatrics. But this rise in children needing hospitalization is something Dr. Beth Garrett, a Freeman pediatrician, is seeing firsthand.
I have had to ship kids to Children's Mercy because of respiratory failure due to COVID. And then I've had to hospitalize kids here for respiratory support and monitoring due to COVID.
While pediatricians say it's less common for children who contract COVID to need hospitalization, it's still an issue they're facing.
Unfortunately, we see some severe disease in children when it comes to COVID. It's not as common as in adults, but unfortunately we see it in our office. Walking through the door, we get calls about it. And so we want to get those kids vaccinated who can get vaccinated.
Garrett also explains why there's a difference in vaccines for adults versus different age groups of kids.
It's basically broken down into developmental stages and how bodies respond to vaccines. For the vaccine for ages 5 to 11, they've been able to decrease the dose of the vaccine into a third of the dose for adults and still get a robust immune response.
With Pfizer turning in data to the FDA about vaccines for 5 to 11-year-olds, pediatricians emphasize the importance of getting young children vaccinated. In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
We wanted to know how many children have been sent from Freeman to Children's Mercy because of COVID-related conditions and if any of the children have underlying respiratory conditions. We haven't received that information from Freeman yet. Anyone interested in getting their children vaccinated against COVID-19 can call Freeman's Shot Line, where they can refer you to a place in the community to receive a vaccine. Missouri Southern today hosted a regional college fair. It was a chance for high school students to get information about area colleges as they decide where to attend. An important decision, right? More than 30 colleges and universities attended, including Kansas University, Missouri University, and Missouri State.
They have the opportunity to kind of get an idea of what they want to do, where they want to go in the future, because ultimately it's about the students. Even if they don't choose Missouri Southern, we still want them to know what they want to do with their future, and so that's what this is for, is to help them make decisions, get those connections, and start working towards their future.
The fair was held in conjunction with the Missouri Association of College Admission Counseling. Missouri Southern students got a lesson in patience and relaxation. The university hosted an event allowing students to make their own mini Zen garden. As part of the school's Japan semester, students created a miniature stylized landscape with carefully composed arrangements.
For me specifically, I don't know culturally, but I think it's like a sand garden and you kind of put a whole bunch of designs in it and it's something to help you relax. It's a satisfying thing for me.
Give me some of that relaxation. This week's Japan semester events also included a showing of the 2001 animated fantasy Spirited Away. Columbus, Kansas citizens are showing their pride in their town. The Columbus Pride Community Cleanup Day today gave residents a chance to beautify the town they love.
Our Columbus Pride sponsors this event, and really what we do is we get together for a couple hours and we clean up the city. We go to our parks, we go down the main strip, and we prepare our city this time for something called Columbus Days, an event that we have once a year promoting our city.
You can find out when the next Columbus Community Cleanup Day is by following the City of Columbus on Facebook. Molten lava meeting cold water off the coast of one of Spain's Canary Islands is making an already dangerous situation for locals there even worse. Fox News correspondent Amy Kellogg has the latest.
9 days after the start of a volcanic eruption on the Spanish island of La Palma,
The lava is now reaching the Atlantic Ocean, setting off huge columns of steam and releasing potentially toxic gases into the air.
Although we seem to have the lava channeled right now, I want to insist on the message that the eruption is not stabilized. There is a dynamic that is beyond our control.
The island off the northwest coast of Africa has long been a popular tourist destination for Europeans. Now it's anything but. More than 6,000 people have been evacuated. Those living outside the evacuation zone are being told to seal off windows and doors with tape and wet towels and avoid going outside.
The use of masks is recommended in all the surroundings of the eruption and in the whole valley.
In the days following the eruption, lava flows have destroyed more than 600 buildings, homes, farms, businesses. This church in the middle of town collapsing after it became engulfed. This man returning to find his house still standing. Many others not so lucky.
I'm sorry for other people whose houses have burned down to the ground, where the lava buried everything.
Spain officially declared La Palma a disaster zone on Tuesday, and that will free up some financial support to help residents replace what's been lost. In Milan, Italy, Amy Kellogg, Fox News.
A bit later, could it be helpful or could it be scary?
Having a robot in your home could soon be just as common as owning a TV. I'm Marianne Rafferty with a look at how personal robots are going mainstream. Coming up.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a pretty decent Wednesday for us today. A lot of clouds across the region kind of kept our temps down a little bit more than what we have seen over the past couple days, but in general, pretty good day for the end of September as we have partly cloudy skies. Great time lapse, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, let's look back. Mid-80s yesterday with the clouds today, a little bit cooler, but still warm. We should be topping out into the upper 70s, so a couple notches above where we should be for this time of the year. All right, Stockton 75, 72 in Neosho, Miami 72, Pitt is sitting at 70. We can jump out toward Yates Center, checking in at 72. So it's fairly comfortable. You can open up the windows tonight as we're going to drop back mid to upper 60s for lows. Looks good right now. Currently 73, feels like 73, humidity at about 76%. And again, I think we'll drop back to about 66 or 67 a little bit later on tonight. Had a lot of clouds earlier this evening. Not much underneath the clouds. There were a couple little sprinkles out there, but we are dry. I expect most of us to stay dry tonight. There could be a couple little showers trying to sneak in late tonight, but majority of us are going to stay dry. So not much going on here. If we jump out to the west, here's Nebraska, northwestern Kansas. This complex will slowly head toward us as we go through about the next 12 to 15 hours. What's going on is an upper level low out across Arizona, kind of spitting little chunks of energy at us. So we are going to have a few rounds of rain over the next few days, which we kind of need. It's kind of dried out a little bit since we had that big rain a week and a half ago. Late tonight, we'll get a few scattered little showers in here in our eastern counties. Most of us are going to be dry. Let's go through the morning hours, so we're going to stop at about noon. Again, there could be an isolated shower, but you can see the heavier rain, more widespread rain out across central Kansas. As we go into the afternoon, that complex will try to push in, especially on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. This isn't going to be a widespread rain, but we are going to have some showers out there. We'll start at 67, 80 by noon, high temp of 83, so temperatures very similar to what we saw today. Tomorrow night, this will dissipate, but then we'll get a few more trying to pop up after midnight tomorrow night into Friday morning. Then I think most of Friday looks pretty good until late in the day on Friday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms work back in. So most likely this will affect some high school football games as we go into Friday evening. Rain's going to be scattered over the next couple days. I think on average we'll get a quarter of an inch, half an inch. There may be some areas that pick up an inch of rain as we go through the next 2 days. Rain sticks around on Saturday, again scattered, but scattered showers on Saturday, and then this whole system will start to roll out of here by the time we head into Sunday. 83s the next 2 days, 79 Saturday, 77 on Sunday. Dry Monday, Tuesday, some rain back in Wednesday, but all in all, temperatures look pretty good to kick off October.
And as you and Nick have been saying, we need the rain.
We do. We can use it. I just laid some grass seed down.
Yeah, me too.
So, yeah.
Was it you who laid my grass seed down?
No, probably Dow.
All right, man. Thanks so much. All right, coming up in sports, it's rivalry weekend for Pitt State and Missouri Southern football. Also, the NEO Golden Norsemen aiming for back-to-back wins, coming off their best performance of the season. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
This week is rivalry week for Pitt State and Missouri Southern football. The Lions host the Gorillas on Saturday in Week 5 of the MIAA schedule. Southern enters the weekend with a 1-3 overall record, while Pitt State is 3-1, winning back-to-back games over Northeastern State and Emporia State. For the Lions, you got a lot of young guys on the team who have not played in this rivalry yet. One person who has is Southern head coach Atiba Bradley, who lined up for Southern against the Gorillas from 2002 to 2005.
I hate Welcome to the Jungle. They played on their kickoffs. So I remember playing there. We had some really good games. We had some really good back and forth. But the fun part about it as a player is that, especially a player from the 4 states, is you see so many guys that either live in Kansas and come over here to work, or guys that from the area that decide to go play over there. So there's just so many common relationships that you find when you're playing this game.
We're going to hear from the Gorillas on Saturday's matchup with Southern right here tomorrow night. The NEO Golden Norsemen will be at home this weekend against Ellsworth. Now, the Norsemen are aiming for back-to-back wins on Saturday after beating Navarro on homecoming weekend last Saturday. Now, NEO is 1-2 in their first 3 games. Last time out against Navarro, though, the offense showed some big-time signs of life. After scoring just 10 points the first 2 games combined, NEO went out and scored 39 on Navarro, rushing for 467 yards as a team, with 5 guys racking up at least 50 on the ground.
It's a big deal. We ran the ball a lot. We had 3 guys that were close to 100 yards. We had 2 that did have 100, and then our quarterback had 85. I was very, very proud and pleased with our offense and just the work they put in all week, and the way they blocked, and the way they carried out fakes, and the way they did everything that they were supposed to do that we've been talking about all week. You go watch the very first play of our game last week. We had a double team go 30 yards down the field. And we're going to play a very, very physical brand of football and a very true to being a sound offense and defense as we can, and that really showed up last week.
The St. Louis Cardinals earned a spot in the postseason last night, claiming the second wild card spot in the National League. Now, the Cards, though, still have 5 games left in the regular season. Tonight's game 2 of a 3-game series for St. Louis against Milwaukee. The Cardinals enter the night on a 17-game winning streak, the 3rd longest in baseball in the last 60 years. Tonight, though, that winning streak comes to an end. The Brewers take this one 4-0. The Kansas City Royals also in action tonight against Cleveland. Salvador Perez just 1 homer away from the franchise record for most in a single season. Tonight, Perez is 1 for 2, and he got that home run, tying Jorge Soler's franchise record of 48. As for the game right now, it's 5-5 in the top of the 7th. That's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
For a while now, businesses have been using robots to help make their operations flow more smoothly. But what if that concept was applied to inside the home? Fox News correspondent Marianne Rafferty reports.
As technology advances, robots are becoming more integrated in a variety of industries. Like this little guy named Grover, who's helping farmers in California grow crops using less resources.
We designed these robots to always consider how we could grow with less water and less electricity.
Meanwhile, robotics company Neuro has a fleet of autonomous delivery bots dropping off groceries and other packages to customers in several states, with Domino's even using them to deliver pizzas in select markets.
What are we going to do with a robot?
But what about providing robots for average consumers? Amazon's latest device could do just that.
Astro, join me on stage.
This is Astro, a robot that does more than just make video calls and play music. Outfitted with 3 wheels, Astro is mobile, allowing the device to deliver drinks and snacks. It's also outfitted with an extendable periscope camera, so the next time you leave home and want to see if you actually turned off the oven, you can have Astro enter the kitchen and double check. Amazon says Astro can even add an extra layer of protection to your home.
You can use it to proactively patrol your home, investigate activity.
But like other listening devices, including Amazon's Alexa, Astro collects data about the things it hears as it rolls around your home, resulting in some critics having concerns about their privacy. Most people can't get their hands on an Astro yet, but Amazon is taking reservations for the device. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
All right, most of that stuff is cool, but freaky at the same time. Next, gonna preview a new movie, The Twists and Turns of a 911 Dispatcher. Actor Jake Gyllenhaal and director Antoine Fuqua reteam for a new drama coming to Netflix this Friday. Fox's Chief Rappaport has a look at what's coming up.
911, this is emergency operator 625.
In the new thriller The Guilty, Jake Gyllenhaal plays a disgraced Los Angeles police officer awaiting trial who has been temporarily assigned to work at a 911 dispatch call center. While fielding calls, he finds himself in a race against time to save a caller who has been abducted, but discovers that nothing is as it seems.
It's a thriller where you don't know what's happening next or what turn's going to come, but in the end, what comes is a lesson for, I think, all of us about how we judge people when we can't see them, what that judgment does, why would we judge them that way? Where are you going?
The remake of the 2018 Danish drama reunites Gyllenhaal with director Antoine Fuqua. The duo last worked together on the boxing drama Southpaw.
We understand each other, and that helps, right? And then also, I know Jake comes with his A game, which makes me always come with my A game as well. You try to always do that, but you need a partner sometime to help, you lift each other up. So I think that's a special relationship.
In preparation for the film, the duo visited a 911 call center to get insight on what the operators go through daily on a personal level.
They're true heroes. They really are. 911 calls is the worst day of someone's life. And they absorb all of that and they try to help. And then they go on to the next call. They pass it off to the police or the fire department or whatever, and they go to the next call, not knowing whether the person survived or not. And they carry all that home with them.
Family, don't hang up, okay?
The Guilty is currently playing in select theaters and available to stream on Netflix Friday. Steve Rappaport, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you tonight with video of a rare Arabian leopard cub in Saudi Arabia. Cute little guy. Be safe, do this all again tomorrow. See you then.